One of my favorite nonfiction books ever written is Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. In that book, one of the concepts he talks about is cognitive ease, which basically means the easier something is to process and make a decision about, the more we tend to like it. Our brains are incredibly lazy, and the more they have to think, the more energy it takes, and we don't really want to do that. And so we have all these different tools and methods we employ to make decisions easier and faster. One of them is something called a heuristic. Heuristics are mental shortcuts. They're things that we use to make decisions more quickly. It's when we're using a heuristic, we are jumping, cue Office Space reference, to conclusions. But heuristics are all about ease. They're not about making the best decision. And oftentimes our brains will take the most coherent story it can tell with the information that it has and use that to drive whatever decision that we're trying to make. So it's not always the optimal decision, but it's often the easiest decision. And there are lots of different heuristics. The one I want to talk about today is the affect heuristic. Unfortunately, the affect heuristic is a little bit like middle school. It's all about whether or not we like something. Do we like something, like something, or dislike something? And that will often decide what we choose to do. Because what we're doing is replacing a hard question, what do I think about this, with an easier question, how do I feel about this? That's where our emotions are typically driving our decisions, and then we'll justify it later with rational thought. But we're really emotional creatures, and that's what's driving our decisions. And so this is pretty important if you are selling or presenting, because people are going to make decisions based on what they like. When it comes to selling software, people are often trying to talk about weighing benefits against risk. And we know, based on research, that the more benefits people perceive, the less risky they think something is. So you want your solution to be the one that has the most benefits with the least risk. But here's where it gets really interesting. In research done by a scientist named Paul Slovic, when people were favorably disposed to a technology, they rated it as offering large benefits and imposing little risk. When they disliked a technology, they could think only of its disadvantages, and few advantages came to mind. So in that research, they figured out that the more people liked a technology, that they saw the benefits, and the less they liked it, whether or not it had more or less benefits or risk, they perceived higher risk and fewer benefits. So when you're selling, one of your jobs is to make customers like either you or what you're selling or both. You want to tell stories, make connections, do as much as you can to influence their emotions because you want them to like you. Sadly, again, it's middle school, but that's how people are making decisions. So the more you can do to make strong connections with your audience, the more likely you are to win the deal.